In most years, there are changes to the Social Security program, and most of these changes are based on things like the wage or price inflation. So you'll see changes to the cost of living adjustment, the earnings limit, the formula that determines your benefits, and so on. But then there are changes that were put into motion with laws back in the 80s that are still changing things on an annual basis. And in today's video, I'll tell you about one of the biggest changes that's been in motion for decades, but is scheduled to come to an end in 2022. But before we get to that, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. This year is going to bring some unique challenges and opportunities, and I'll be covering all of them here. And if you're subscribed and you have the notifications turned on, you're going to know as soon as I release a new video. So what's this change I'm talking about? Well, 2022 marks the end of adjustments to the full retirement age. You know, the Social Security full retirement age used to be straightforward and it was the same for everyone, but that hasn't been the case for the past few years. From the first Social Security Act back in 1935 all the way through 1983, the full retirement age was 65. Then things started to get a little confusing. Due to the 1983 amendments to the Social Security Act, the full retirement age increased from age 65 to 67. But this law didn't make this change immediate. Instead, it built in a gradual increase over 22 years. It slowly increased from 65 to 66, and then it stayed at 66 for 11 years, and then it started to move slowly to 67. Now, we've gone through a long period where full retirement ages are not uniform, but instead, they're based on your year of birth. So for those born between 1943 and 1954, the full retirement age is 66. For years after that, the full retirement age increased by 2 months for each additional year, all the way up until birth year 1960, where the full retirement age is set at 67. This means that 2022 will be the last year that full retirement age adjusts for individuals who are newly eligible for benefits. So for anyone who turns 62 in 2022 or later, their full retirement age benefit will be 67. No more guessing or looking at charts to figure this out. If you were born before this, you're still going to have to use the shifting age chart to know when your full retirement age benefit is. Now, the one exception to these dates is if you were born on the first day of the year. In that case, the Social Security Administration deems you to have been born in the year prior. So for example, if your date of birth is January 1, 1960, the administration will count your year of birth as 1959. So why does all of this talk about the full retirement age matter? Well, understanding at which age you attain full retirement age is important because this is when you qualify for 100% of your Social Security benefit. If you file before this age, your benefit is going to be reduced. And if you file after this date, your benefit is going to be increased. Now, the increases and decreases are commonly thought of as occurring on an annual basis, but they're actually calculated on a monthly basis. Currently, the reductions are calculated as follows: 0.555% monthly decrease during the 36-month period immediately prior to full retirement age. And then if you go beyond that 36-month period, there's an additional 0.417% monthly decrease. Now, if you file after your designated full retirement age, benefits are increased by 0.667% for each month you delay. Now, that's up until age 70. Now, these increases are often referred to as delayed retirement credits by the administration, and it's important to understand that there are differences between how the increases and reductions are applied. If you file at any time before your full retirement age, your benefit will be calculated by these reduction amounts and immediately reduced beginning with your first check. But that's not the case for increases. They are not automatically added as soon as you file in most cases. They are only added in either the month you attain age 70, in January of the year following the year you earned the delayed retirements, or the month you die for calculating survivor's benefits. Now, if you want to see more on this, check out my video, The Delay of Delayed Retirement Credits, and I also have an article on that. I'll link those up in the description so you can find those quickly. One last thing that's often overlooked is that there is a difference in full retirement age for those who are eligible for survivor benefits. When you compare the two, you'll see that there's a 2-year difference in the table of full retirement ages. Now, just because this is the end of the current changes doesn't mean this won't change again in the future due to law changes. For the past several years, there's been lots of proposals submitted that would increase the full retirement age. And based on statistics alone, increasing the full retirement age does seem to be a reasonable plan in my estimation. It hasn't been adjusted since 1983, but life expectancies continue to increase along the way. That means that the system has to make more payments to each person than they did in the past, and more payments means that the Social Security Trust Fund becomes depleted even faster. But as with any system with this many moving parts, there are some unintended consequences to increasing the full retirement age. So for example, if the full retirement age is increased, the benefit amount for those who file early would be cut. This is simply because, again, those reductions are calculated on a monthly basis. And if the full retirement age is increased and the early age is still 62, there are more months between when you file for benefits and your full retirement age. More months equals more reductions. The fix for this would be to change the early Social Security age of retirement, but this scenario would incentivize more people to file for disability benefits instead because they're not reduced based on the age at which you file. And this would mean that the Social Security system could have even a bigger problem with funding than it's currently facing. There's lots of little things to consider about changing the age of retirement, but if you want to see a deeper examination of these considerations, I also have an article titled The Unintended Consequences of Increasing the Full Retirement Age, and I'll link that up below as well. So understanding the Social Security full retirement age is the first step in mastering your retirement. Just keep in mind, this is your retirement we're talking about here. Continue to learn and educate yourself. It's the best way to increase your odds of an awesome retirement. Thanks for watching.